How's it going?
Congratulations, sir.
Thank you very much.
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Patrick Glory, Princeton, finalist. Patrick, what's it feel like?
It doesn't really feel like anything yet. As Kobe Bryant, the late great Kobe Bryant said, "Job not finished." And I know that feeling last year. Didn't really feel like I accomplished anything. So I got one goal in mind, and that's to dominate in this final.
We'll open it up for questions.
How close were you to going up to 33 this year?
Yeah, it was kind of back and forth, but at the end of the day, I made a commitment to myself, my family, those closest around me, my coaches, my teammates. The end of last season, to stay down, and this is my weight class. This is the weight class that I feel like I compete best at. I have a two-time NCAA champion at 125 in the room, working with me every single day. So, he did it. Why can't I? It's gonna be hard. It'd be hard to make 33 too, but it's a matter of doing things the right way and doing it the hard way, quite frankly, because that's what leads to performances like that in the semifinals and a dominating performance that I'm gonna give tomorrow. And it's because I think I put myself through that adversity.
Patrick, you said you did this a year ago. What did you learn from last year's experience that you'll change over the next 24 hours?
Yeah, absolutely. Weigh-ins are early tomorrow, 7:30, and then you have a lot of time. The finals don't start until, I think, 8 maybe, 7 or 8. You have the whole ceremony beforehand. There's a lot of commotion, a lot of energy. It's very different than a typical match, right? You don't kind of have your normal warm-up, your normal routine and everything. So I think having that experience last year is hugely important for me. Knowing what to expect, knowing how to prepare going into that environment. And just the atmosphere, right? There's all eyes are on you. And that's not necessarily the case in a lot of these other matches. So just knowing how it is, it's going to be a huge asset for me.
If you had your pick, would you go first or last tomorrow night?
First. So I get to watch Quincy.
Just a reminder, if you have questions, we have a microphone for ASAP for transcribing. We'll go here and then second row.
Looking back at your performance this weekend, what are some things that helped you lead up to your finals, appearance in the finals match, and what are you most excited for about tomorrow?
Yeah, I think not every match is going to be perfect. I like to kind of beat myself up in certain situations, giving up points. In that quarterfinal, give up 2 takedowns, and I think it's like especially in this tournament, like it's never going to be perfect. And just finding a way in the third period to get your hand raised, like it's going to inevitably it's going to come down to the end of the match, and it's how you finish. It's not how you start or what happens in the middle of it. So I think, I was really proud of the way I battled through adversity through this tournament, and I think I've been waiting for 365 days for this opportunity. Dreaming, blood, sweat, and tears. Although that might sound generic, but it's the truth, and I'm just so excited for an opportunity.
We'll go second row.
Two questions, Pat. I mean, first, I think every match this tournament, you scored in the first 10 seconds. I think you put up about 15 minutes of riding time. How have those two things kind of developed for you throughout these 2 days?
Yeah, you're inevitably going to think about your opponent before the match, right? There's nerves. If you don't have any nerves, you're probably at a disadvantage, right? You have to use a little bit of those butterflies, a little bit of those nerves to kind of propel you, get you energized and ready to go. And, when I get nervous about my matches, I always think, hey, well, I can always just ride the guy out. So even if I don't get a takedown, I can win 1-0, right? And that might sound a little crazy, but at the end of the day, it kind of gives me a little bit of solace and just contempt, I guess, maybe, and saying okay, even if I wrestle the worst match I possibly could wrestle, I'm gonna ride a guy on top, and I'm gonna be able to get out, right, on anybody in the entire country. So I think that's something that I kind of, base my wrestling off of. And when I'm coaching clinics and camps and teaching little kids, my little brother, I'm like, you better get good on the mat, because that's what separates these guys. You can be great on your feet, but if you don't have any mat wrestling, you can't make it to the national finals or win a national championship. So definitely a huge asset for me, and just finding ways to control a match. I think that's a huge way for me to control the matches on top.
This is news to you, but you're not wrestling Spencer Lee. He lost to Ramos. So just your thoughts on that, because I know that probably wasn't predicted.
Yeah, it doesn't really matter, to be honest. You know, if it was Spencer Lee, that's great. You know, now that it's Ramos, okay. There's one guy standing in my way of accomplishing my goal, and that doesn't really matter who it is. So, yeah.
Anything else for Patrick? Thanks, Patrick.
Thank you,
Appreciate
guys.
it. Good luck.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate it.